saw that with the Saints. We've seen it with the Rams in certain parts of the game. We see it especially with New England because no one is better as far as what are your weaknesses when you start the season and trying to make sure those weaknesses aren't glaring as you go on, and potentially if I can make a weakness a strength. And that's what we have seen with the Steelers. Defensively, they've gotten after the quarterback. They've shut teams down. They've been better in the red zone. They've been able to turn teams over more. And ever since we've had their offensive linemen say things we didn't hear them when they were talking about L. Bell. But I think around week number 4, Cameron Hayward, he said something.
It was right after week 4.
It was just a matter of fact of just shut up. We need to play better. And it was kind of, hey, I haven't heard that. It was kind of refreshing to come out of Pittsburgh, man. We hear a lot of backbiting. He said this. He said this.
He said buy in or don't get on the field.
Yes. And that was basically a challenge to the defense to either listen to the coaches, buy into what they're doing, and let's buy into this brotherhood that we've had. And they have played that way. I thought Ben was spectacular. Not in the numbers, but watch the game. There were a couple opportunities he could have been knocked out of the game. He could have taken himself out of the game. But the overall grit and determination, that's why Ben is who he is. For a game like yesterday, hard-fought game, he's getting hurt, got the wind knocked out of him, came back into the game. That's the reason why he's a special quarterback. And you can see it in yesterday's action, Nick.
If those comments by Cam Hayward were the line of demarcation, the stats say what you're saying is totally correct. Since that moment, up until that moment, the Steelers were allowing 29 points per game. Since then, 18. We're allowing 115 rushing. Since then, 65. We're allowing 305 passing. Since then, 210. Like, the defense all of a sudden is a plus for the Steelers. They haven't given up more than 21 points one time since that game on this 4-game winning streak. And so now the defense is shored up. We know who Big Ben is. James Conner is doing his very best Le'Veon Bell impersonation. And contrary to what people in Pittsburgh and nationally were saying through the first month of the season, they got one of the 5 best coaches in the NFL. Mike Tomlin is never going to let his team let go of the rope. Mike Tomlin has never let 1 and 2 turn into 3 and 7. That's why he's never had a season below 500. That's why this Steelers team every year is in contention, if not in the playoffs. They have excellent talent, they have excellent coaching, and the defense has found its way. I was very worried about the defense, see, because we saw this trend start the moment Ryan Shazier tragically was carted off the field. At the end of last year, the defense was bad. And the beginning of this year, the defense was bad. It's been so much better this last month.
Has James Conner surprised you with the production that he's had consistently?
Well, I started reading some of the stuff they were saying about him when we were getting ready for this year's holdout. Like, we knew this year's holdout would be an extended one, so you could start to see some of his skill set. The biggest problem is it's hard to give a guy credit or to anticipate the type of productivity when he's replacing one of the best all-purpose backs that we've ever seen. Like, oh, yeah, I expect this guy. I mean, I have high expectations for Barkley, but I don't expect him to still be able to produce like L. Bell has produced. So knowing the Pittsburgh, knowing how they're going to run their offense, no, I can't say I expected this much out of him, but he's really grown, not only on me, but you can see how he's grown his game. His vision's gotten better. He's a lot more patient. He's better in blitz pickup. And obviously, he's won over the Pittsburgh Steelers by the volume of carries and touches they give him week in and week out.
And the Steelers, I give them a ton of credit because they had to go on this streak because now they got a quick turnaround. They have Carolina, then they have back-to-back road games at Jacksonville, at Denver. Like, they couldn't go into this stretch of football limping into it. So they have a huge game Thursday night, but right now they look like the team that I think all of us thought they were at the beginning of the year, which is the clear favorites in the NFC North. And they avenged that game they lost to Baltimore in the beginning of the season. That one was in Pittsburgh. So you thought, oh, man, they might get swept by the Ravens. They didn't get the win in Baltimore.
If they do a normal Mike Tomlin type thing, say they go 7-1 the second half. Oh, Pittsburgh, oh, they're terrible. Oh, 12 wins. Right. Again, like that. If they only win 6 games, they're going to win 11 games. So to speaking to what you're saying with Tomlin, Tomlin gets it done and is very underrated. Gets criticized more than he should in the job he does with that Pittsburgh organization.
Someone else getting it done coming up. Is this the best version of Cam that we have ever